Alec, Peirce, Scuba. Hi, guys. How do I fix the dump valve? Okay, well, you can't. Very difficult to fix the dump valve on a BCD. If it's broken, it's broken. And the problem with a broken dump valve is, if you have a broken dump valve, guess what? The air dumps. You can't put air in it. Well, you can put air in, but it comes right back out. But good news is, dump valves don't break. Very, very solid. I think what Luca was referring to is the cord. The cord. Yeah. Because not all, but a lot of dump valves now have a cord on them, so it makes it much easier. Certainly the dump valves that are located elsewhere on the BC. Many BCs have a dump valve on the top of the corrugated hose, as you know. And you have your deflate inflate valve down here, and you pull down on it, and the air dumps up the top. It's just really convenient, it really is. But most BCDs also have at least one, sometimes two or three, other dump valves in different areas. You see, if you're diving like this vertically, the dump valve's up here, you dump the air, that's great, but all the air won't come out. You really have to go this way and pull this dump valve to get the air to the bottom. Or if you happen to be head down and you want to dump some air, you can pull on your corrugated hose all you want. The air from the bottom, you've got to reach and grab this and pull. So there's a reason why they have more than one dump valve on it. And I think that's what the concern was. What happens if this cord breaks? Which can happen. It can certainly happen. Well, it's relatively easy to fix. You can go in and spend $30, $40, $50 and buy a whole new cap for the dump valve and put that on there. But it's very, very easy to fix. So let me just quickly show you how you do that. I tried to find a couple other different types of BCDs, but they're all very similar. Here at Dirty Adventure Diving, by the way, in Georgetown, where we are today, they specialize in semi-technical and full technical diving. So they only have a certain number of types of BCs, and they didn't have one with the standard pull on it, but they're all the same. Yeah. So your cord broke. It can happen. If you haven't been looking at your gear very carefully after every dive to make sure it hasn't worn in there, it's just a black nylon cord, not very thick, then it can certainly break. You give a good tug and you can't dump the air. So what do you do? Well, almost all of these valves, be it a shoulder valve or a dump valve like this, almost all of them are very simple. Unscrew it. Just unscrew it. Again, if you've been doing this regularly and keeping it clean, it'll come off easily. If you go to unscrew this and it's really, really, really tight, you have not been rinsing your gear well enough. All you can really do is soak this dump valve mechanism in warm water, a little bit of soap, just a tiny bit of soap, and warm water 2 or 3 times. Let it dry, take it out and try it again until hopefully the crud that's in there, crud, it's a mixture of sand and salt and other stuff that I don't want to list for you, is in there, and just managed to jam up the threads. It's a plastic cap and it's a plastic nail part down here on the BCD. Plastic. Yeah, so it doesn't take much in the way of sand or salt or other crud to ruin those threads and jam them up. That's what you need to do. All right, so now you have in your hand, you have the cap, the screw-off cap, and you're going to find there's a spring. Don't drop the spring. And there's the seat, the actual seat that seals. This is a very soft, oh yeah, it's nice and soft rubber seat. And that rubber seat sits against this hard ring like that and traps the air inside. It traps it inside because there's a spring that pushes on that seat. And that spring is held in place by this cap. So it's very easy to see how this thing works. It's just that simple. And when you pull on the cord, what you're doing is you're pulling that cap away so that so the cap comes off the hole, air comes out. Spring's broken, what do? Well, you can see here very easily that string is part of that cap. Gosh, what are you going to do? Well, again, you can go to your local dive store and get a new one. Technically, all you need is this cap, that string. This little ball in the end is only on there as you got something to grab onto, and the whole thing is secured by a nut down inside the ball. Okay, so that's all you really need, but I virtually guarantee you can't buy that. You have to buy the whole dump valve. Hopefully you don't have to buy both parts, female and male, but you should be able to buy just this part. Or you could fix it. Yeah, you can fix it. Because this string, this cord goes into a very, very small bowl, if you like. You see that little bowl on there? Well, right there, a little bowl. In behind that bowl would be a knot. You see, it's in the bowl. Something sharp, something small and sharp, a pin or a needle or an X-Acto knife, something like that. Get it down in behind this rubber ring in there and peel it off. This flat soft rubber surface is held into the hard plastic carrier with a little bit of silicone sealant, a little bit of silicone cement. That's all it is. So all you have to do is get that rubber seat off. Get it started, lift it up, and peel it off. Clean off both surfaces, and in there you will find the knot, the broken end of the knot of your cord. Take the broken end out, push the cord through a little bit, make another tight little knot. Actually, you're best to replace the whole cord, but in an emergency, make another tight little knot in there, put it back together, put that back in place, put it back together. What about the sealant? Well, if you have sealant with you, that's a good idea. Put a drop of sealant on there to hold that in place. But between you and I, you don't really need that sealant too badly. This seat only moves about 1/4 of an inch. So that flat rubber surface is not very likely to pop out. When you get home, take it apart again. Clean it, put it all back together, and then put some sealant on it, and you essentially at that point have a new dump valve. Now that type of dump valve was the same for almost all BCs. Here's one that looks kind of weird. Look at this one, Kevin. Zoom in. Oh, there we go. Zoom on in this dump valve. What's with that? Well, okay, so it's different shape. Same thing. Watch. Unscrew it, like so. Same thing. Spring, soft rubber seat, held in a plastic carrier. The knot is behind that little bowl right there. Same thing. So 90% of these dump valves are exactly the same, and that's what you can do. You can clean it while you have it out, replace the cord, put new knots in, and you're back doing your favorite thing again, scuba diving. Good luck, guys. Alec Peirce at Dirty Adventures Scuba in Georgetown. Yeah, all right. Talk to you soon.